Hello, and welcome to episode 8 of the Humanity in Flow podcast. I am Liz Rothman. I'm an attorney and advisor in the healthcare and emerging technology space, and I am joined with Manijeh and Motaghy. And Manijeh, you have recently been you're leading a course on the art of letting go, and I would love for us to talk about that today. Do you want to give us a little bit of an introduction to yourself and to what you've been talking about in your course?
Sure, I'm excited. This is our 8th episode. Thank you. So, yeah, I'm Manijeh Motaghy. I'm the founder of Perfectly Here and the Mindful Life Optimization methodology, which is a little comprehensive, model that includes systems and planet and human well-being and, improvement. So, there are so many courses. We have a whole catalog of courses, and under that is MLO 402, the art of letting go. And letting go is something that people struggle with a lot, and it's good to even start with why. Why should we even let go of something, or what is it we're going to let go of, or what things we should, what things we shouldn't. But basically, when we are too attached to anything, an idea or material or viewpoint or anything or people or anything that we are too attached to, or even habitual way of living, it causes issues for us. So they've looked at letting go and not being able to, because all of these things are really abilities that people have to develop, and not having the ability to let go of things that cause stress, anxiety. They also cause weight problems, relationship disharmony, reduces appreciation of life, empathy, for others or yourself. Not being able to let go just creates mental chatter, rumination, unhappiness, confusion, biases, and inability to be creative and present, with whatever is going on. And on the other hand, positive psychology, which I'm not a complete fan of, because thinking positively is not the answer to everything. Sometimes we need to see the negative and feel it and be with it to resolve. But then positive psychology shows that if releasing some negative thoughts and thinking can encourage self-confidence, self-worth, hopefulness, agency. And then there is also science of forgiveness that shows when people actively forgive, their cortisol levels drop significantly, they experience better health, and the reduced rate of chronic illnesses. And then also every experience, including sleeping, improves. You become better, able to sleep better, more longer. And just it includes also when you are letting go, it increases your being adaptable, not so rigid and stubborn, you know? So there's a lot of health benefits to being able to let go, and a lot of health consequences when we hang on to things that are bothersome to us. And then, as we've always talked about, there is change, right? So when you try to let go of something, anything that you want to let go of. So, for example, one of the students in my class was talking about letting go of expectations, that she perceived that her expectations are what causes her a lot of, disharmony and unhappiness. So, in order to let go, which is a form of change, it's good to see that, oh, some things need to change for this letting go to be actualized, And so we can look at every time that we let go of something, maybe our mindset has to change, our status, our privilege, being tight, tense has to change, having ownership ideas or ego or expectations or, what else? A lot of things could need to be changed. And so in order for the letting go to actually happen. So it's not as simple, right? When we talk about, I need to let go of this, or they need to let go of this, or they're, stuck on this. and they should let it go. They should choose. Everybody has a choice to, not do this or let go or whatever. It's not as simple. So what I came up with was like we need at least four types of skills. I mean, this is aside from awareness, attentiveness, mindfulness, all of those really amazing, good qualities. But in order to let go of four types of skills, one is the skill to discover what's necessary. What is a factor that needs to change? Like one of these things, is it my mindset that needs to change? Is it my status that needs to change? Is it the privileges that I'll have to let go of, or I don't have, I need to get, is it my body that's tight or tense that needs to change? Is it something that I'm feeling like I own this thing, I own this idea, this story, this, I don't know, material has to change. So discovering, that's the first thing, that what are the aspects that need to change before letting go happens. Number two is to, once you discovered or you kind of gauge some of the things, then there is this space. There is this space between resisting to want to change and embracing the change, right? It doesn't happen immediately. Some things happen quite immediately, but we were ready for it. So there could be this period of time where you're actually resisting and you're not wanting to, or you don't know how, or you're kind of, clumsy about it. So embracing and being able to operate still in that space. And so before you can let go of this thing, you want to let go. And then the third stage is after you have kind of been there and felt it and still connected to that motivation that, oh yeah, this is what I need to let go of, and really reflecting on it and teasing it out also, comes the letting go. So for example, the student who was talking about expectations, and I said, so say more about this. So she painted the picture of, other people who behave inappropriately in inappropriate situations, or they maybe are selfish, self-absorbed, they don't realize what's happening, they burden others, they're too sensitive. She was just having this scenario, and she has a hard time letting go of this expectation. And I said, so wait a minute, maybe the expectation you have is not the thing to let go of, because you're talking about some kind of a standard way of being compassionate, present, mindful, that if you let go of that expectation, you may be thinking, I have to let go of my standards. She said, yes, for sure. So I said, maybe for now, expectation in general this is not general. This is very specific expectation. You keep that, but maybe the thing that you need to change, work on, is the tightness that happens, right?
Mhm.
So when you're like, oh, I can't believe they're acting so inappropriately or whatever, you feel that there is tightness. Oh, okay,
Yeah, you can only control your reactions, right?
right.
Not what
You
they're.
just release that, you change that, you embrace that, you work on that, not you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
then, or maybe there are other aspects that you look and see what is necessary. So the factors is it my mindset? Like, for example, I said to her, when I talk to people, especially people I don't know, I don't have much background about them. No, I don't know much about them or anything. And when our conversations don't match, or they're kind of, yeah, you like, yeah, but and something like that, immediately I could see that their association to the subject we're talking about is different than
Mhm.
mine. So when I I just see it as different. I don't see it as right, wrong. I don't have an opinion about it. Of course, I worked on this. It's not like,
Yeah,
so
didn't happen overnight. Yeah.
when I see that, oh, it's just different, you
Mhm.
know, oh, okay. I could allow them and not try to change it, try to, I only go to change it if I'm in a long term, in a regular relationship with them, or if I may do or say something that could be harmful.
Mhm.
That's very important to me. So then I really want to know, I really want to get curious about it. But otherwise, I just let them be. So when for her, for example, you are with this crowd who are not skilled, unable to, they associate to the situation in a very different way than you do, and you're suffering for it, right? And you,
Or maybe they're not skilled, or maybe her reaction is an overreaction to what, maybe they're like it's
yeah,
a combination, right? It could be
no.
if everybody in her life is like this, then you'd have to look at the
Yeah. So, the idea that you could only control yourself, it's a big idea, like a big picture view, but then you can go and see, okay, what is it about myself
Mhm.
that I need to kind of look at, give myself to sort of be uncomfortable with it, and then don't want to change it. What do you mean? My idea is the best, you might think. But
Right.
then what's the best thing that gives you some kind of a message is tightness, tension
Mhm.
in yourself. And again, we blame the circumstance, the other people, the whatever happening about for the tension, but still the tension is in my domain. I can do something with it, that I would like to do something with it, right? They
Yeah, and
can
I think
be
it's
different, and I can actually still be relaxed and peaceful.
that first stage of discovery, right? Of figuring out what it is you need to let go of, what blocks you have, I think can be such a tricky stage, right? And it's something that we're constantly learning about ourselves, right? Of every day of like,
Mhm.
if you've got to be present and paying attention to see even what blocks are there and where you may need to let go of something, because it might be something you might be fixated, your mind might be like generally focused on something that is completely not the issue that you need to let go of, right? And
Yeah.
I think that stage is so interesting, and I'm there's so much to learn, I think, in that.
Yeah. I mean, this is why we take classes, so that we are given some kind of frame of reference, framework, step by step, something to work on. And so like there are 4 types of skills. One is to discover what are the factors that need to change, that maybe it's environment. Maybe I just totally disassociate with these people or this group or this neighborhood or this, maybe that's what it is. Just really, but then before going to big changes, we can still come back and see what's within me that can be looked at least looked at and see, you know.
Yeah, well, and I think you're the example that you referenced and just now talking about sort of things that are present on people's minds that I need to let go of, forgiveness or something specific that happened in a relationship with another person. And I've also just found that it's so powerful to look at what's, stopping you from moving forward with something, what's stopping your progress on something that is maybe unrelated to any other people at all.
Yeah.
And I think those same principles apply there, and it's can be just such powerful work
Yeah.
to work through those things.
Yeah, just looking at it and not blaming anybody or yourself, but looking at, okay, if this is something I want to do, why am I not doing it? Uh, if this is something, it's like, when I'm done at the end of the night with work and everything, sometimes I stop working at 8 or 9 p.m. after class and stuff. And then I say, there's a kind of a belief or something in me says, okay, now this is my time. I just want to go eat something and watch something, right?
Mhm.
And then I know it's not a good idea because it's late and it's going to impact the day after, all these things.
Mhm.
So what does it take for this to change? What are some things that need to change for me to not do this habit, which sounds really delicious and comforting and fulfilling? I want to do it. Why
Mhm.
shouldn't I do it? But then if I go overboard, sometimes it's sleep, then I can't fall asleep because beyond the time, 11, 12 at night, then I can't fall asleep. So then I pay for it, like, I knew better. I should have went to sleep at 10 or 9:30 or something. So
Right.
then
And I think
we,
it's one thing if you really want to do that, right? If you're like, I absolutely want to watch this show and eat this thing and it'll make me very happy. But if you're doing it out of habit and almost like a self-sabotage kind of thing where you know it's going to affect you tomorrow, right?
right.
I think it makes a difference, right? What mind frame you're in at that time. Like if it's something that will actually bring you joy, or if it's something that is like a block from you getting work
Yeah.
done tomorrow.
Right. So tomorrow you figure it. You like,
Yeah.
I stayed up too late.
Why
Okay.
did I do
I
that? Yeah.
shouldn't do this. All right, sometimes you just say, oh, I shouldn't do this, and you don't do it. But sometimes it's not easy. So
Yeah.
then this step of discovering what are the things that need to change. For example, some things could be like, okay, instead of starting your class at 7, you started at 6, right? You know, that's fine. People can come
Mhm.
at 6 and leave at 8:30 instead of 7 to 9:30, 9 o'clock or something. Anyway,
Mm.
so you could take it from small habitual thing to a big, something that's relationship oriented or community oriented or work oriented or anything like that.
Mhm.
It takes more steps than just knowing you need to stop doing this or you
Yeah.
need to forgive them because it's bad for you.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I think we've kind of brought all of our conversations into this space of also looking at what's going on around people. And I think that um, 24-hour news networks, social media, a lot of the information that is swirling around people is making some of these associations worth, right? Like it's making the like ability to forgive or believing that at a viewpoint is much more pervasive than it is, or kind of compounding some of our anxiety around certain issues in our life that may be entirely unrelated to anything that we're consuming or watching
Right,
or
right,
surrounded by, but that those things make it harder for to work through some of these things. And one of the reasons why mindfulness and taking that step back and having the time to reflect is so important.
right. And you can reflect anytime, you know. You could reflect in the middle of an action, in the
Mhm.
middle of a choice, in the middle of something. You could just stop and play it out and see how does it play out. So even stuff like, for example, bigger stuff, like I constantly read, articles or news or anything, people who are concerned about AI and the ethics of it and the impact of it on humanity. Some say AI has no empathy, no heart, the way it's, used, is whatever. And I kind of feel like, oh my God, people have no empathy.
Right. I know that's you and I have both done so much
Humans
work
don't
in,
have much empathy and they're
yeah.
losing it.
We've done, yeah, so much work in this AI ethics space. And it's a challenging thing to like to watch these conversations and then say like, okay, so there's all these frameworks now and there are all
I
these
mean, humans don't have
guidelines, but
enough
the humans, this is
empathy.
the biases and all of the training is coming from us. It's coming from the call is coming from inside the house, right?
Right. They don't, because I was running the other day, I went for a hiking and I go frequently and I'm always fine. But just this time, there's a narrow road that cars go and it was like 7:30 a.m. Everybody's going to school, bumper to bumper, everybody stopped almost. And I'm going down the hill and I tripped and I fell. And it was a little, unexpected because it doesn't, I'm very good at, I know where I'm going. And I swear to you, nobody of all these cars who are like maybe 2 feet away, 3 feet away, not far away from me, nobody turned down their window to say, are you okay? That's it.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
okay?
especially like, yeah, in a neighborhood like
I
that.
mean, come on.
It's like,
I mean, I'm a human behaviorist. I wasn't judging. I was just observing, like, wow. And
yeah,
we complain about AI, technology, artificial intelligence doesn't have empathy. Oh,
right.
for God's
Well, and
sake.
that's, yeah, that's been a political talking point too.
This natural
Empathy is the
intelligence doesn't
problem
have
and like,
empathy.
all of these things. And so,
You know?
but yes,
To roll the
where it makes,
window down
yeah,
and say, are you okay?
yeah.
That's all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could always bring up reasons. Oh, they're busy, they're inattentive, they don't want to be caught up with but all you have to do is connect and say, are you okay?
Yeah.
That's all. And then just see that. So change, everything needs change, and change is natural happening anyway, but we could use it to our benefit in a systemic way or in a productive way.
Yeah.
But
Do you want to recap the four again? The
therefore, okay, yeah, well, change is necessary for letting go to happen, and letting go is beneficial to our health and has consequences when we don't, you know. And then some of the things that what needs to happen for the final letting go to happen is one is to discover the necessary things that need to change. Two is to be able to be with that space between when you're resisting these changes and then embracing the change. Three is to be done with this thing finally. And four, operating from a new state. Now you have forgiven, now you have let go, now you have, and there's something else is replacing it, something new, something new. Uh, trait, if you would,
Mhm.
or environment, or way of communicating, or connecting, or friendship, or anything else, a new way of doing it. So, yeah, good luck. If anybody wants to know more, they can contact me. Or,
Do you want to just say the website and information on that course?
yeah, perfectlyhere.org. Perfectlyhere.org is the nonprofit organization that teaches these courses and programs. And there's a retreat coming up. There is sound bath coming up. There are good stuff coming up. But take good care of yourselves and yeah, be
Great. Well,
well.
thank you so much, Manijeh, for telling us a little bit about your series on letting go. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully, we'll dive a little bit more into how this relates to our current world and some of the
Yeah,
stress.
so this week people might want to look at, what needs to change for me to let go of this thing that I want to let go. Is it my
Yeah.
mindset? Is it the status? Is it privilege? Is it tightness and tension? Is it ownership? Is it ego? Is it expectation? What is it that needs to change?
And I found a really great way to start to find those things is to put yourself in situations where you're slightly uncomfortable. So for me, that's
Okay.
like going
Okay.
into new professional projects or going in somewhere that it's a little bit uncomfortable, and then you have these resistances that pop up, and maybe going into a new group of people or talking to
Yeah.
people that you have frustrations with, and then just seeing where all of that tightness comes in and where the resistance is, I think can be helpful.
And not giving up too fast.
Yeah, yeah,
Good
not.
job. Okay, that's great. That was a good example. Yeah.
All right. Well, this has
Thank
been
you.
episode 8 of the Humanity in Flow
Hmm.
podcast. We will be
Okay.
back soon.
See you next time.